I still remember that night. It was July 11th, 1979. I was 6 years old, was lying on the open terrace on top of my house in New Delhi. My eyes wide open looking at the clear sky, stars sparkling, looking out for the streaming line of fire. Skylab, the manned space station, had to be dismantled and was falling into the earth. I was both afraid and hopeful that it would fall near my house so I can see it. It never did. I vowed to come to the United States of America and build a spaceship like the ones you see in Star Trek. I never became a rocket scientist, but I got into movie making instead, where it's much easier to be a rocket scientist, thanks to Jerry Bruckheimer. I finally arrived in America a few years ago. One of the things that always intrigued me about the United States is that being the largest democracy in the world, it had only two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, I was from India, where we had a party for every flavor of ice cream you can buy at Baskin-Robbins. Not that that was better, but why only two? Are there only 2 points of view in the world? It would continue to rack my brain for the longest time until I met
Dan Byington, a talk radio show host and businessman, has a major announcement. First of all, welcome to Nothing But Truth, Dan. It's a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Crane. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Actually, this is the first time this has been announced on WGNU's airwaves. I host a show here, and this is the first time that this is coming out on the air on WGNU. I am running for Congress.
Running against it, running against it, running against it. Before you vote today, there's something I have to say. Do you really want to make your life better? If so, don't hesitate. There's really no debate. I'm the best candidate.
We can make changes, reprint, so if everything's correct, then we'll get your signature.
What about me? Oh, would you vote for me? America, I stand alone in my policy.
Hello, I'm Mike Steger. I'm running for Congress, U.S. House, 3rd District.
My name is Michael Braham. I'm running against Dick Gephardt in the Democratic primary.
Running against it, 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 running against it. Something you have to know. This is not another show. It's not about the money or power. There's not another place like the United States. Let's all make this our finest hour.
Byington kickoff for Congress District 3 barbecue. Welcome volunteers, free food. You gotta get the people in the house to hear the message, and the only way sometimes you can do that is free food. I just made all these. I'm gonna put this one like probably in my front yard, and then see where it says glad you could stop Byington.
Yeah.
Stop Byington.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like in the back, so when they walk out of the backyard, they'll see this sign, and then when they walk in the backyard, they'll see Byington. Well, this is the day I start the Meet the Candidate barbecue. I'm gonna have some people come over. I have a radio show on WGNU from 11 to noon. I just started. I had the idea Thursday. You know, there may only be one person who shows up, or there could be 40 people. I really don't have a clue.
I think that government is simply stereotype-controlled anarchy, and that you have a bunch of mafia running these organizations like the United States of America just to put their hand in your wallet, take out your money, and spend it for somebody else.
Under the libertarian platform, a lot of these people wouldn't be going to jail.
Well,
no, we wouldn't be prosecuting any of this minor petty drug stuff and stuff like that.
I've changed my opinion on the whole drug thing over the years. I've come to the conclusion that they should just go ahead and legalize drugs, and I'm a conservative. I don't do drugs. I don't want to do drugs. But I'll tell you what, if they legalize the drugs, it would eliminate most of the crime. What I'm saying is that type 1 and 2 is completely stupid to be legal. I mean, to be illegal because it's a plant, for God's sakes. It's like beer, really.
So what are you going to do for Dan to ensure he wins?
Well, I guess what I'll do is I'll try to get the word out, and anybody who goes against Gephardt is definitely got my vote, and I'm sure a lot of other people's.
I want him to, for one thing, get out of other people's business as much as possible. Stop taxing us to death. And the third thing is do something about all the jobs that are going south of the border. I'd ask Gephardt flat to his face, what have you done to stop the jobs from leaving this country? Well, the question is to ask Gephardt what's he doing to stop the flow of jobs from this country to the next country. You know, he voted for NAFTA, didn't he? Didn't he vote for GAF? How can these people out here in these factories, Chrysler and Ford, say, hey, he's our boy?
He's a machine, you know, and the machine is running. So you have to either have your own machine to run against it, or somehow throw a monkey wrench into his machine.
I think maybe he ought to have a bake sale next week.
So I thought we could maybe get Dan to base jump off the Eads Bridge with a Speedo that says "Vote Byington" on the back, you know, and getting you to film it, and then we release that to the media. You know, something that gets free publicity.
Thank you all for coming to the volunteer barbecue for my campaign. I've made my announcement publicly this past Thursday for the first time. Actually, no, about 2 weeks ago. But enjoy the food and everything. The reason why I'm wearing this hat is because I'm working hard for myself, and I think you all should work hard for yourself as well. I'm not going to relate to my neighbor as a competitor for some type of government handout, grant, or program. Anyway, a couple of my neighbors stopped by. But I have this sheet here. If you want, write your name, phone number, email address, or your address if you'd like to volunteer in my campaign anyway. So just continue eating. If you want to ask me any questions or anything, I'll be around.
I have a question, sir. Who's your girlfriend?
Where?
And what are your intentions?
Yeah, that's right. My intentions on what?
I've been asked to assist Dan with his campaign in a management forum. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that or not. I wanted to come out and meet some of his friends. And so throughout meeting some of them today, I've not quite certain I want the job.
What will it take for Dan to win this war or this fight against big politicians?
About $2.5 million.
Well, it's, I'm very ticked about dogs and the dead people voting. That's a main issue.
This is Mike Steger, another hopeful, unfunded, running in the Republican primaries against party-endorsed Miss Catherine Enns. He is a one-man campaign crew.
They're not doing anything about it that's crooked, okay? And it's fixed. So all we got to do is merge the voter database in the city and the county with the driver's license. Put a V on the driver's license. If you're non-driver, you got the non-driver's card. Fixed, okay? And then I'm going to do something that Thomas Jefferson would do if he was around today. I'm going to return control of the government to the public. Okay, pretty monumental task, very worthy task. Okay, it sounds like a challenge to me. So I don't even want to go to Washington. I'll do two-way teleconference secure. Okay, I don't really need to go up there. I've been to Washington before.
Now, before Mike can talk about going to Washington, he had to beat Miss Enns in the primaries, who was party-endorsed and was relatively well-funded.
Oh, that's becoming a breeze now. I've got 23 years experience in federal government.
Mr. Gephardt.
Why am I running against the incumbent Rich Gephardt? Because I can do a better job. I've got 23 years federal government experience.
For Mike, this was personal. Some time ago, he had caught some people falsifying documents, and he complained to Dick Gephardt.
And he answered me like he'd answer anybody in the district. He said it's an administrative matter. He told me I was on my own. Okay? He said, you've exhausted your administrative options. To which I say, no, I haven't. Gephardt, you're fired.
It seemed to me that Mike Steger was planning too far ahead. Mike Braham, on the other hand, was gunning for Dick Gephardt in the Democratic primary. To me, it seemed like an uphill battle. But then, what do I know?
For about 20 years, so it's time for the individuals to stand up and try to get our country back. The country right now is like Rome. The reason a lot of people don't know why Rome collapsed, it was financial. The idea of represent is to represent the beliefs and the backgrounds of the people of your area, not go around the nation raising money and then run for president. Now this is an area up here, like I said earlier, that will vote for him. So to campaign here really does not do any good because you can talk all day long and the people will not listen to you because they've already decided they don't care, they have it in their minds, and they will vote for him. Not only that, but they will vote Democrat. They will never vote Republican. They've always voted Democrat, always will vote Democrat. So you have to go against Dick Gephardt as a Democrat, and you have to do it in the primary.
Now, there was a little thing in the press the last week about a fax that she sent me. Maybe you saw it. Some of the Republicans thought that was cute. Well, what I want to say to my friends in the Republican Party is eat your heart out. I get faxes from Barbara Streisand. They get faxes from Rush Limbaugh and Pat Robertson.
A lawyer by training, like many other politicians, Dick Gephardt was first elected to the U.S. Congress in 1976 and has been undefeated ever since. At the onset, it did not seem likely that this race would pose a challenge. In the past, he had raised $2 to $3 million in each campaign, and this was going to be no different. So why is he so invincible?
He's done an awful lot. You can watch him on television. He's here, he's there. I was born in DeSoto, Missouri. I ran Highway 21 a lot, and he had 21 into a 4-lane highway, and he's going to continue to make it the rest of the way to DeSoto, Missouri.
He's wavered on most major issues throughout his life, abortion, tax reform.
A more generous interpretation of the events may say that he had a sincere or genuine change of heart. I don't really find that to be the case. I think that as he aspired to the Democratic nomination for president in 1988, he changed his position on abortion. He changed his position on gun control. He changed his position on a variety of issues.
Okay, if that's the case, how do you explain this?
And Mr. Gephardt, if he was terrible or bad, would he have been in there for 20 some odd years? People can't be wrong that long.
He has access to a national Democratic fundraising base. These national donors are able to give him, $2 million per each election cycle. The second reason is that as the district has changed demographically, and as the voting patterns of the district have changed over the last 10 or 15 years, Gephardt has skillfully been able to take the lead in redistricting every 10 years. Gephardt's original political base is here in the heart of the south side of the city of St. Louis. In the redistricting after the year 2000, after the census came out, Gephardt, whose district the lines used to end here, he took territory, even though his population in his district had been moving this way, he decided to make sure his district went upwards. Because this swath of people here, there's two types of people. There's African Americans, who are disproportionately Democratic, and there's white progressives. Because of the complexity, the sophistication of redistricting software, state legislatures are able to mold their districts to make sure that they are not going to face a strong challenger.
I caught up with Dan a week after the barbecue to find out what kind of success he had had. The results, let's just say, were less than optimal.
A lot of people I noticed at this barbecue will sit there and they'll bitch till the cows come home, and they'll talk about how it's the black's fault, the poor guy's fault, the rich guy's fault, some politician's fault. But then when you ask them to volunteer, maybe put a yard sign in their yard, they act like they're doing you a big friggin' favor. It's like, pal, you know, contribute a little bit. I'm not asking you for a lot. Can you pass out 10 flyers? You have no problem wolfing down my hot dogs, that's for sure. My strategy is, and if I can afford it, I want to get billboards. I want to buy billboards. But I thought about putting something like, do it for the kids, in parentheses, and then Byington. You know, and then it'll say paid for Byington for Congress. Or, I'm just a common man. I like the common, I'm a common man, you're a common man. Won't you be a common man too?
Dan heard on the radio that we were going to have a Gephardt sighting in St. Louis. So we rushed to see him in person.
He's pretty much been a career politician for the last 26 years. I thought, you know, I'd get some good tips from him.
Well, what?
This is awesome. Dick Gephardt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But I want to congratulate the mayors, the park board members, farmer mayors, and mostly the citizens of this great community for having the generosity and the foresight and the good citizenship to invest in a wonderful facility like this. This center, to me, is a family center.
So we finally got to see Dick Gephardt in person. This was the man Dan was going to debate against. Gephardt clearly knew how to talk a lot without really saying anything, but making people feel good. Looking at the novices who were running in the race, it was getting pretty apparent to me that this was going to be one bloodbath.
All ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hey Joe, what's going on, man?
Hello, Dan.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine, and you?
Good, good. That book you gave me was really fascinating.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
It is.
actually, I dropped it in a hot tub one time.
Excellent.
Would you like to be like in a role of campaign managers? Like, do you think that seems like something that would interest you?
Yeah.
Like with Carvel or like doing campaigns? First step is the signs. I think the slogan, buy into Byington. It's different, it's easy.
And you might want to use one of these.
They don't even put the rates in here, they're probably...
As an attack billboard.
And the attack ones would be totally different, and I could put my little thing on small print, but it'll say something that Gephardt said, like
Gephardt sucks. Radio, internet, billboards, flyers, yard signs, and guest appearances.
That's it. That's all I'm going to be doing for campaigning.
That's enough, as long as we do a lot of it. They say that your treasurer should be, like in your case, it should be a pro-life Republican woman.
How do you find that? You just run an ad or something?
I don't know. You have to find you know, it should. They say it should be the opposite of your candidate to try and bring other people into the campaign. You know?
Not a lot of congressmen make a local quirky documentary, and it's turning out really, really good. The footage and the film. And it's about WGNU radio. I think that'd be a good start to catapult when you talk about getting news coverage.
How are we going to raise money? What's your thoughts? What's your budget? What are you going to spend?
Mike, what I think I need is about 50 grand to do everything I want to do. And that's what, obviously, then I think...
Let me change that.
You think it's 150,000?
Yeah, I'm going to put a 1 in front of it.
Okay.
And that's our goal. Okay. If there's any demons that are going to come to haunt us from your past, like, you know...
Well, let me tell you something. I have no police record.
Right.
I'm a single guy, so obviously I date, and, you know, I meet women. I haven't met Mrs. Right, but I've probably, in the last 2 to 3 years, probably slept with 20 different women. Couple guys, couple guys wanted to videotape me, but I said no.
Yeah, all right.
And then I have smoked hemp, beef hemp. That's about it. That's the only thing. So all those things.
And you liked it.
Yeah, and I liked it.
Yeah.
And I inhaled. But all those things I'm not gonna.
I'll tell you when you're fucking up.
Yeah.
I'll help protect you from yourself.
Winning November 5th.
Right.
Winning November 5th.
Right.
What do I gotta do? And just think of it like that. I'm a grunt. I'm out there I'm out there in the trenches.
Right.
That's the one way I can approach it.
Dan looked far and wide for a suitable treasurer. He finally convinced my girlfriend to sign up. The only problem? She was neither Republican nor pro-life.
It's like I just need someone who's appointed or designated as a treasurer.
Right.
So,
Goodness gracious. This looks like a really fun reading.
isn't that crazy though? Don't you think that could be a
Yeah,
lot more
that's pretty
simplified?
crazy, yeah.
It's crazy. Here's some more
What
stuff.
have I done? I don't know about this. Oh my God. I just thought it would be fun, but it doesn't look like it now.
Okay, I got you as a treasurer. You signed on.
You
I
gotta.
didn't have you sign anything official or nothing.
He's
I'm
like,
gonna get a PO box with an address. I'm gonna call the FEC and ask questions. I'm gonna start raising funds to put into a bank account that we will both open jointly.
okay.
Well, thank you for.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you
very
for.
welcome. Do the official handshake. I mean, you're saying that now, your finances will be all screwed up. I have a whole new wardrobe.
It is getting close to the primaries. While Catherine Enns was still evading my calls and Dick Gephardt was nowhere to be seen, I met up with Mike Steger, who was on his campaign trail.
Let me describe for you the flavor of representation under Gephardt. The MSD plant here in Lime with burning poop. There's little kids that live around here every day and breathe this burning poop every day. When I'm elected, I'm gonna have a wash put on the top of this tower, a spray, and then I'm gonna do something about the tanks so that the little kids don't breathe this burning poop every day. I want to put my office in the building where I used to work at, here at the Defense Mapping. And if the Air Force will let me, I'll let them open up that building for Boy Scout and Girl Scout camp, the only Boy Scout and Girl Scout camp in South City. Right now, I just got to get through the primary. And after the primary, things will pick up. Because they don't want funds getting locked in. And this insulation board, and you can put it on the windshield of your car. Got a lot of base, and a lot of people understand exactly where I'm coming from. When I stop, they come and say, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I am pretty impressed with Mike Steger's determination, but is this an efficient way to reach out to 700,000 people in the district? Michael Bram, on the other hand, was running around the district trying to get endorsements from local Democratic wards.
I went to their ward meetings where Dick and his representatives did not show up, and you have to show up to get an endorsement, which they did not, and he was endorsed anyway. That also goes with this area here, the 15th ward in the city. Same thing. Dick and his representatives don't show up. I show up. You have to show up to be considered for an endorsement. He gets endorsed anyway. So not only do we have problems up at the federal level, but we have problems at the local level. I hope that I win. If not, the website stays up. I'm going to keep letting people know, informing them of the truth.
It is the day before the primaries. Mike Steger's one-man campaign crew is in full force. Whether it'll be enough to beat Kathy Enns is another matter.
All I gotta do is beat Enns. I think she already gave up. Get involved with every high-tech project the government's got. Bring those projects into the district. That means business, jobs, opportunity. P.S. Gephardt, you are fired. Didn't you see that already? Okay. They burn the poop 24 hours a day. And them little kids have to breathe burning poop. My Teamster Union dad went to his grave knowing that Gephardt tried to screw me. This is a blood feud. $1 for the board and however much for the paint. This one's tougher. My South County Journal thing, I said, I want to be a representative, not a dictator.
Yeah, well,
And they quoted that.
that's good.
And I said, hey, I'm against dogs and dead people voting. We're going to merge the voter database in city and county with the driver's license.
You know what Mayor Daley said? Vote early, vote often.
It's like driving a board through mulch. It is mulch. 50 feet.
The primaries ended with no upsets. As expected, Mike Bram had lost to Dick Gephardt.
All right, we got to put him back. You here, pet his head. All right, say bye-bye. Campaign ended very nice. 26.5% of the vote. Received over 16,000 votes. That's more than the 13,000 that the Republican candidate, Catherine Enns, who received 13,000, will face Dick Gephardt in the general election. But, of course, you know, we have the media bias again. 5 days after the election, and there's a picture of Dick Gephardt getting free press on the front page. Also in the paper, if you read, it talks that Gephardt pummeled Mike Bram and Enns breezed past computer consultant Mike Steger. If you look at the percentages from the state, Catherine Enns did get 58% and Mike Steger got 41%. I don't call that a breeze. And 26% to 73 is not a slaughter. Now the paper also reports that Gephardt got nearly 80% of the vote. Well, he didn't get 80% of the vote. Now in St. Louis County, yes, I did get 3,822 votes, which is about 20%. I did pull higher percentages, but the paper does not show that. That was the county. They are giving a perception that that was the total everywhere. The train that's going by right now is Burlington Northern. It's a track that goes into St. Louis, comes up from Memphis. It'll probably be carrying nuclear waste through here very soon. Dick Gephardt shows up in the area and said, oh no, waste is not going to go through, waste is not going to go through. It's going through. It was started back in 1987. He was House Majority Leader. He could have killed it. He could have killed all the appropriations for Yucca Mountain. He did not do that. The only way for people to take this country back is they have to stand up. They have to say, hey, that's it. And the only way they can do it peacefully is by voting. He has not had somebody run against him in the primary for many, many, many years. So this was very interesting to see that large of a turnout for me when the media won't even put my picture in the paper. They won't put my picture on TV. And basically nobody knew who I was.
So that begs the question, what about the media? Is it not supposed to be fair and balanced, as some would say?
Radio plays a greater role than ever. Time on the air is paid for by all parties and distributed evenly among them, giving the party in office no advantage over its opponents.
Most of the mainstream media only focus on official sources. Well, who are the official sources? Of course, the Democrats and the Republicans. And they are colluding to keep independent voices like the Green Party out of the electoral process.
It is so hard to get information. I just want to know who believes what.
What do you think the role of the media is in this whole election process?
To sell newspapers and TV ads.
Hello from the anchor desk.
Good morning again. It's 6:30 now on this Monday, January 3rd, and here's what's happening in the news this morning.
This story about two Tennessee boys who need to eat squirrel meat might sound a little nutty, but it is true. Folks all over Morgan County, Tennessee have been out hunting squirrels today.
Been hard trying to find foods that are high in protein, and we got the idea of squirrel.
Journalists can be eyes for the world, often risking their lives.
But that's another story.
But that's the story we want to hear.
For who?
That's right. We're using all sorts of French.
But I thought Maurice Chevalier might sneak in here, but I said it.
Well, I'm going to sneak off to Jacques Penet.
What's on your tie, Mark?
That's Bugs.
Looks like some, yeah.
And Daffy and Wile E. Coyote. This was for sale in the post office.
$1.3 trillion.
Make this holiday season a time of giving.
Come on, join us.
If you want to fall out of debt.
Nice Friday, nice Friday. Sit, Friday, sit. All right, let's go up to Chopper 2 right now.
Show you what's happening.
Some serious clowning around going on today. Exactly. Yeah, they told me where to stand, where to sit, and I'm doing okay this morning.
And put it, quote, a cheap publicity stunt, and again, quote, a classic case of media manipulation.
Media
manipulation.
That is the news this morning. Now let's head back to Brian and Jane.
This was when we were invading. We were going into Yugoslavia, and I was really upset about some stuff, and I was watching it and I was like watching how they would, like, the local newscasters would talk about, you know, they'd briefly introduce a few serious issues with these stern looks on their faces, and then like immediately they'd be cutting up and making jokes and stuff. And I was just like, how can anybody take it seriously, the real news, because there is some substance there. How can they take it seriously if, like, these newscasters are just total clowns, you know? When you're trying to win your market share by providing entertainment, then you've lost your focus on the news.
After dismal response in getting volunteers and raising funds, Dan seemed really frustrated the next time I saw him.
No one from the Libertarian Party has called me and said, okay, here we're going to help you with fundraising or nothing like that. And I'm not really blaming them, but I was kind of feeling frustrated because I was like, man, am I willing to waste all this time and energy? Because really that's all you have.
The only independent right now is a guy from Vermont named Bernie Sanders, who's a socialist, actually, and Vermont's quite a quirky state politically. I would bet my life savings that Dan Byington will not be able to win this seat.
Why do you vote Democratic?
Well, it's a party that my father and mother and sister all vote for, and that's the only way that I can go.
Which party do you generally vote for?
Republican.
It just, in general, they seem more conservative than the Democrats.
Could you define conservative? What are the things that are conservative?
All they seem to me.
As a labor man and as a working man, I have to vote Democratic.
Democrat.
Why do you vote Democratic?
Because they're more liberal.
What have they specifically done?
I really don't know. I just, where I was brought up to vote Democratic.
Republican, the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, so I want to be
You don't have a problem with that?
I'm going to be on the rich side.
My parents are both Democrats, so I was raised a Democrat.
God first, love of country, family, traditional things.
The Republicans, the people who have been elected so far, have they kept the promises that you've been promised as a voter?
Well, it doesn't make any difference. I support them, and I would, that's my thing, you know.
I am starting to get the idea now. The two-party system works something like this.
This is America. God bless America.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Land of the free and the home of the brave. Land of the free and the home of the brave. America!
Hey, America. I'm the better choice. I am for the poor people. Vote for me.
No. I'm the better choice. Nobody gets free money, and I'll protect you all with big bombs.
This is stupid. I will protect you all. Black people, yellow people, brown people, gay people, from the man.
Don't be an idiot. I'll let you keep your guns so you can be safe. Ha ha, jackass.
Guns kill, guns kill. What about pro-choice? Or if you keep your kids, I'll pay you. Ha ha, take that.
He's taking away all my votes. Holy Jesus. I'm fucked. That's it. Jesus. I present to you, Jesus. Vote for me.
No, vote for me.
Vote for me. No, vote for me. Jackass, vote for me.
Hey, guys, I'm an independent. Why don't we debate issues? You guys want to debate me? Ha! I bet you I'll kick y'all's ass. You don't know who you up against. Hey! You guys don't play fair.
America! America! Land of the free and the home of the brave. Land of the free and the home of the brave. America!
Because we will probably never change to proportional representation, and we can only elect one person, that indicates that we'll always have two parties coming to the median voter, trying to get that median voter. Additionally, they'll be able to raise so much money through their connections in Washington with political action committees, through their connections back home with businesses in the district, and also through the franking privilege, the fact that they can send as much mail as they want as congressmen for free. The barriers, the obstacles are almost insurmountable.
We've been certified by the Missouri Secretary of State. The Greens are on the ballot. We're running, I believe, 9 candidates statewide.
The Green Party probably would be very aligned with my values, but I feel I'd be throwing my vote away.
You don't have to have two-party system to run a country. You've got to be able to listen to opposition. And the two-party system is too much intertwined with each other.
If you got me a map of the 435 districts, in 400 of the races, I could tell you who will win 400 of those with utmost certainty. So much so that I would bet, again, my life savings, I would bet my home on it.
I think it's the money game. It's a money game. It takes a lot of money to get in politics. And Democrats and Republicans, they got it all.
Money is the mother's milk of American politics. If you don't have money and you can't raise money, you almost have no shot of getting there.
Hello, money, you're our honey, you're our everything. You're our shadow, you're our battle, you're our everything.
The main reason that it's hard to run as a third-party candidate is money, pure and simple. Estimates are that my Democratic and Republican opponents in this Senate race here in Missouri will spend $5 to $10 million each on their campaigns. $5 to $10 million.
But without money or the possibility of raising it, it doesn't seem like a possible dream in this society these days. That frightens me. That frightens me a lot.
Hello, money, you're our honey, you're our everything. You're our shadow, you're our battle, you're our everything. You're in season, you're the reason good people go down. You're our shelter, you're our
I don't think our forefathers could have ever predicted the strong lobbyists that we have up there, who pretty much dictate public policy and tell politicians where to spend their money. And if the politicians don't go with them, fine. You just don't get any campaign contributions.
And they saw
I finally got the message from Republican candidate Ms. N's office that I was afraid of.
Yes, this is Carl Hendrickson from Representative Kathy N's candidate for Congress office. You called last week about us participating in a documentary that you're doing. I've discussed it with the staff and with Representative N also, and we just wouldn't be able to do it at this time. I'm sorry, and we wish you the best of luck with your program.
Yes, Mr. Hendrickson? Hi, this is Srikant Chellappa. I had been requesting an interview with Ms. Ann's, and I think I got a message from you about a couple of weeks back or so. Would it be possible for me to kind of just follow her on our campaign trail, maybe a couple of days or something, between now and November? I mean, if she can't do an online interview, I can at least capture that kind of footage, because I'm really trying to capture how the campaigns are run and stuff like that. And okay. All right. Bye.
Editing. Editing Radio Free St. Louis. I am Chuck Norman, which is actually going to be part of my campaign. Hopefully I'll be able to, maybe I might even sell tickets wherever it shows and raise money.
No matter how great things are, things may get worse sometimes, but in the long run, life is good.
I guess pretty much all the topics I wanted to cover I have covered, because I mean at this particular point I'm just continuing to fill out surveys and pass out flyers, and I guess if you can kind of help me get spots to speak in front of and work with these guys and get a speech, I'll show up wherever I can, as long as it's not Monday through Friday 9 to 5.
Don't we have a debate?
No, the League of Women Voters originally were going to have a debate, and I talked to them, and they said they're not having a debate this year.
Oh, so now we don't have a debate.
No,
I hadn't heard that.
So I was kind of disappointed about that. Hello, sir. Not much. I'm passing out flyers too today. Dan Beinson for Congress.
What's he at? What party is he at?
That's me. Libertarian.
Oh, libertarian. You guys are cool, man.
I'm going down to the...
legalize marijuana for us guys, man?
I think marijuana should... I think there should be laws. I think the drug laws are not working in this country.
The only criticism I have about you guys is that you want to privatize the forest. You can't do that.
Privatize the what?
Forest, national
the forest.
My buddy's running for senator, Green Party.
Yeah.
Dan Romano.
Okay.
He's running for that. He's a friend of mine.
I'll probably see him today. We're actually going down to a peace protest.
So,
but anyway, man, it was nice meeting you. What is your name?
Lefty Flower Child. That's my real
Lefty
legal name.
Flower Child?
Yeah, right. That's my legal name. I had to change it.
Okay, well, give me a call if you know anyone who's interested in helping out a third party.
We've sustained a huge loss with the cancellation of the League of Women Voters debate. That's a huge setback. And what's our symbol? Isn't it a donkey?
That's Democrats.
No.
It's a blunt.
It's a donkey. It's a donkey.
It's a libertarian.
Or a mule.
I thought it was a blunt.
A blunt. A big old spleef.
You're saying it's a donkey, and that's the libertarian?
In Missouri, it is. Yeah, it's a donkey or a mule.
So what are some things that you guys are doing? Because I have no idea, because I wasn't there.
Tomorrow I'm
Saturday?
passing out flyers after work.
Okay, Saturday?
Saturday from 2 to 4
and that's
down at the Arch.
one that's downtown? 2 to what?
2 to 4 at the Arch.
Okay, now, did you want to do a different type of flyer for that?
Yeah, I was
and
thinking
we need to get that done so I can get it done tomorrow. And
the Tivoli, I'm going to premiere the film, which you saw it. It wasn't a completed project, but it will be totally complete. I'm premiering that on October 15th.
You don't like the way he portrayed himself in his film.
Your 1.5 minutes of soundbite from that entire film is pretty hard edge.
But,
all right, so we're done with that now.
It's done.
Right.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, happens.
So I agree with that because we're going to do that. Small stuff.
War-based. What do you mean say?
What's
you
the
give
Greens
me
poll?
something.
What's the Greens?
He's good, war bad.
I'll tell you what's the Greens policy?
Bush
on that?
I don't know,
equals
but I'll
Nazi.
find out. Okay.
We should not exchange an 18-year-old's life for an oil price. You know what I mean?
I'm not nervous about Iraq lobbing a bomb over, from Iraq. I'm nervous about some terrorists waltzing through the borders. Well, it'll probably happen in 2 years. Some terrorists just waltzing through the borders, with a bomb in a briefcase, and he just puts it somewhere and kaboom.
Well,
That's
let
the
me tell
biggest
you
threat.
something.
And our foreign policy should be that where we don't meddle in anybody's business unless
Absolutely.
they,
And that is a large reason why we're hated in a lot of parts of the world. We're everywhere. We're trying to be the world's policeman, and sometimes we come down on the wrong side.
The war drums had started beating out of Washington, and a resolution authorizing war was on the table. Third-party voices were in the forefront opposing war.
Why war? Why Iraq? And why now? To the neocons, 9/11 was a godsend. Like a dying vampire, it has been given a transfusion of human blood. We don't have to look very far to see the influence of the money power dragging us into war. ExxonMobil, the oil majors, British Petroleum, Halliburton, Dick Cheney's old company, the burgeoning homeland security industry that profits from government efforts to spy on us. The whole military-industrial complex is now becoming the only growth sector in an economy dragged down by war, fear, and crushing taxation. What you can do? Get on the phone tomorrow morning. Call your congressman. Who is the congressional representative from this district? Representative William Gephardt. It's Gephardt! Look at, hey, you've got your work cut out. This is the big man.
Raise your hands, raise your phone. All right, the number, start dialing, leave message. Tell them how many people are here.
said today. But when I hear the stories about the veterans who are over in Iraq, stuff that you don't see in the news or the media doesn't cover, the destruction that the Persian Gulf War has left behind, where all we seem to be driven towards is the only solution for the Middle East crisis is war, it bothers me. I'm gonna have to go apply a little suntan lotion to my forehead. My hair's kind of thinning out and I got a good suntan, but anyway.
He needs to practice. I think he wasn't prepared and he was nervous. That's what I think. But it was his first time out, and now he's got experience under his belt.
And I think, like, when I said the joke about the suntan or whatever, I don't know what I was thinking, but that's what I was thinking, really, because it was like, man, my head was starting to really burn up, because some of those people, like, talked and talked and talked. And I was just nervous as shit. And I know that I have to have something prepared now when I go in there.
The war resolution passed overwhelmingly in the Congress, with the House approving it 296 to 133, and the Senate 77 to 23.
This past Saturday, I went and talked in front of a peace group, and I just didn't feel as if I was prepared enough.
And why do you feel you're qualified for this office?
I'm not a lawyer. I mean, I'm actually I'm Missourian. I live in Missouri, and I think that the people of Missouri deserve a candidate who really doesn't want to be a career politician.
Well, my name is Carl Schlanger, and for the campaign for Dan Byington, I'm just trying to help out with the words when it comes to perhaps doing commercials, helping him with speeches.
While Dan was having a tough time finding places to speak, the third-party candidates in the tightly contested Missouri Senate race hit limelight for once.
What I am saying is that these elections matter. It's bigger than us up here. I mean, there are people in this state, tens of thousands of them, seniors, I've met them in the 30 senior centers and independent living centers I went to, who need prescription drug coverage.
Oh, I remember the first Gulf War. We were told about the third biggest army in the world and what a threat he was, and they turned out to be a second-rate army.
Thomas Jefferson specifically wrote some of the most important documents. I think we all probably have a fond place in our heart for them, except maybe John Ashcroft.
Getting the job done. That's what it's about, serving in the United States Senate.
The Green Party is not taking away votes from any other party, because no other party owns those votes. The voters own those votes.
I would not doubt your patriotism, nor would I doubt the patriotism of any member of the United States Senate, Republican or Democrat, and I don't want you to doubt mine again.
Actually, I'm very pleased to say that the media have done a great job reporting on my positions when they have talked about me. I've noticed no inaccuracies.
Once the media gives us a little bit of attention and lets the public know what we stand for, it seems like we get a lot more, that people are really very interested in our message.
I've been asked, people, why are you running with for the Senate, U.S. Senate, as a third-party candidate? Don't you know that this is a two-party system? My reply to that is, that's right, it's a two-party system, and we need a second party.
I am getting involved in politics is because there's two things I think we really need to address as Americans. And that's one, our healthcare system, and two, taxes. I think our healthcare system, looking out here, I guess by show of hands, do any of you remember doctors making house calls? Okay, what happened then? I'm quite positive you could call the IRS with one question, and if you talk to 4 different people, you get 4 different answers. So in reality, what you need to do, we need to reform the tax process, and people need to at least say this. Not a lot of politicians even mention this stuff. I'll be over here.
The elections are drawing near, and Dan's campaign had little momentum. All bets are on his big movie premiere.
Fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. We're going against Gephardt. Who knows how much money he has? Let's just say a lot. And how much money does Dan have? None. So in order to win, you need money.
Hey, content of character.
Yeah.
Character, character is a lot, and you have that, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not just trying to boost you up. It's true. You have character. You're going to win.
Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I wish you were in my district, Janie.
I'm going to vote. I'm going to work for you anyway. I don't have to vote for you to campaign for you.
There you go.
I called to tell you I need 10 tickets on reserve.
Okay. If you would like to see the WGNU documentary, the first show is basically sold out.
Here at the Tivoli Theater today, beautiful Tivoli Theater, trying to organize our first fundraiser where Dan will show his film, the Chuck Norman documentary, which has come off fabulously. What if you only sell 120?
Well, then I'll pretty much lose about $1,500 off the whole thing. So that means my work is cut out for me.
Right.
And I've got to start selling tickets, and I've only got 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to do it.
The thing, Dan can contribute as much money as he wants to his own campaign. The film premiere is his film.
Right.
It's not necessarily a fundraiser, so whatever money he makes from that doesn't have to be counted.
We're gonna need people to staff a booth. I mean, you want to set a table up and sell buttons and stickers, or you want to give them away?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So who's gonna do that?
I've got people who can do that.
Pretty girls are good for that.
Okay.
You know, not the shootist.
I'm not getting anybody home. I got one person, Gloria Parker. She said she'll put a yard sign in her yard. I think what it is a lot of people, they think, why bother? I don't have a chance. I have no chance to win this election. I'm just pretty much like, I have absolutely zip chance of winning. The only way I'll win this election is if Gephardt and Kathy Enns kicks the bucket. And I'm the only one on the ballot somehow, But even then, last time they voted a dead guy. I got to go get my flyers out of the car, too.
Yeah.
You don't mind passing them around here?
No, I don't mind.
You paid me for 10. I just want to make sure everything's
I
right.
paid you for
99 of them.
tickets,
Okay.
and I owe you for,
So you owe
5
me
more?
$50.
Yeah, I owe you 50.
Hey Gary, what's up? This is Dan. I need you to give me a call ASAP. I'm driving around and Gephardt has yard signs, and so does Kathy Enns all over the place, and I have none. I need you to get me that design. You're supposed to email it to me, and I need to get these things up ASAP. And there's my tickets.
Okay, good enough. All right.
Well, thanks, Gloria.
Okay,
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you at the premiere. That's going to be fun.
Okay, all right. And you don't have to inform me of anything. Just put it, and I know you've been here.
With 1,000 guys like you, I could win a campaign. Not much. What are you up to, man?
Our rainbow festivals?
Yeah.
Libertarians from all over the country come there. They're cool as can be. They got tents. They're sitting there, they'll be smoking with us, they'll do everything, man. But when they start talking about privatizing the parks, everybody gets cool. Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Okay, try to get in touch with the other side of your brain over here, your right mind. It lets you be a people-like person,
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to start trying to do stuff like
Check it out.
brush my teeth left-handed.
You'll see after a while, you'll start looking at things differently.
Why are you supporting Carnahan when Digger is running for Senate too?
Digger's the one that scared me. I was with Digger at my house, and Digger let me off, and I go, he goes, Carnahan's running. He goes, I don't think she's gonna make it. She's got a weak campaign going on. I go, really? I go, darn, I got scared. And I left him, and about 4 or 5 days later, I came out with my sign.
So you would rather vote for Digger than her, but you're voting for her only because you don't want her to
Digger
lose.
doesn't stand a chance. He knows it. Everybody knows it.
This is my mother-in-law, Olga.
Oh,
Nice to meet you.
I'm a strong politician.
Dan's running against, he's in the...
Are you Democrat?
No, he's not a Democrat. As a matter of fact, they're making...
Oh, I don't know. I love him. Oh, give me some papers on you. Young guy.
What are you gonna do with him? No, don't give her any papers. She'll turn you in. She's a Democrat.
Why do you love him, though?
Why?
Because she's a Democrat.
Well, but why are you a Democrat?
Because my mother was.
There you go.
And the only Republican I did vote for was Eisenhower. And you know why? He came to Massachusetts. I was working at the bank that day, and he waved to me. So I waved back, and I
Dan waved to...
Hi, Hardy. So would you like to fire? Hey, how's it going? Would you like to fire? I'm running for Congress.
Oh, okay.
I figured, why not?
Why not? Fuck all these.
That's a good idea.
Put those with it.
All right, I will.
There you go.
That's good thinking.
They take those. We're right.
Here you go. It's a haunted house. $2 off. And also I'm running for Congress.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That was random. It's like here's a haunted house and I'm running for Congress.
What a novel idea. See, people aren't receptive to taking a political flyer, but when you combine it with a free ticket to a haunted house, they take it all day long.
What about me? Oh, what about me? America!
He's running for office.
Oh, I came to see the great opening of the WGNU movie.
That doesn't do you justice. No. You look younger.
You look younger in person.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, cool, the yard signs. Look at these yard signs, Joe.
Wow, those are great, man.
All 300 of them.
Those are votes right there. Yeah.
When I hit play, it should jump right to the beginning of the film. Yeah. And I'm not going to rattle on much longer, but I am running for Congress. If you want to ask me any question, I'll be back to drinking coffee. Other than that, enjoy the show. I'll let it speak for itself. Thank you.
I enjoyed it a lot. Excellent production values, and it was very entertaining.
I loved it. I loved it.
This was the best film I've seen in 25 years. Patton was the last one.
Chuck, good seeing you. I'm glad
you're happening, Dan.
Thank you.
You did a great job on this thing. I can't give you enough praise.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think a lot of people like the movie. They liked the movie, but it's just it didn't go well as far as because it really put me in the hole. I didn't really raise any money to put towards my campaign. So total to pull the whole thing off was about $2,400. I think with pre-sold tickets at the door and everything, I may have sold around $1,800 worth of tickets. So I actually figured I lost about $600. I had like one volunteer for the volunteer sign. I had like 8 people sign up for yard signs, or 6 or 7. And then I had like 40 people sign up for DVD and VHS sales. I called all the local media, but none of them even returned my calls or anything like that. So, you know, they're more interested in covering murders, drug arrests, crap like that.
So how are your speaking opportunities coming along?
Well, I registered to speak at a community college. They returned my check.
Or your speeches are getting canceled too. So where do you go from here?
Well, I'm just going to put up as many yard signs as I can, and I think what it is when people go into the polls, it's like they just look at a name they recognize. So.
Have you heard of Mr. Dan Byington?
No. It's the Gephardt race. Probably Republican.
Have you heard of Mr. Dan Byington?
No.
Hi.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to run for Congress.
You're selling that house?
What?
You're selling that house?
I'm running for Congress. I will be pumped into 318,000 homes, of which probably 10 people will watch this because it's on local access. This is my entree into the media exposure since third parties get literally no coverage by the press. How's it sound? Pretty good?
Sounds good.
I mean, is it a good 30-second sound bite?
Yeah,
Just smile and be more relaxed. That's why we're just going through it.
Don't be too harsh.
Okay. My name is Daniel Byington. My name is Daniel Byington. My name is Daniel Byington, and I am running for the 3rd District, and I am running for the U.S. House of Representatives, and I am running for the office of My name is Daniel Byington, If you believe the individual should have the right and responsibility to run their own life, then vote for me on November 5th, Daniel Byington.
This year, I don't think it's going to happen, but I do think Dan Byington can and will happen. It may not be Dan Byington, by the way. It may be another person doing the same thing he's doing now, but we have to have people like Dan start this process.
That sign might get like 6 votes just by being there for a week or 2.
We're protesting illegal immigration.
Okay, how does it affect you and the ordinary citizens of this country?
Well, it keeps wages lower, takes people's jobs, it increases crime, the security of the nation.
So here I am, an immigrant, filming a group opposing immigration. I know Dan was running out of places to speak, but this?
Here we don't need it anymore. We've got 300 million people here.
Yeah, you want me to just go ahead and start? I think today our nation is controlled by a single party which has disguised itself under 2 parties, under 2 umbrellas named the Democrat and Republican Party. For example, I believe that in regards to our foreign policy, we should remove all of our troops from overseas, stop meddling in people's business, put our troops on our borders, and make it clear and simple. You attack us, we will annihilate you and kick the UN out. This is the only way out of the tyranny of the one-party system with Democrats as the heads and Republicans as the tails.
Mr. Byington has enough guts and courage to come out here with odds against him that are insurmountable, and he's willing to make a point.
Mr. Gephardt had the audacity, even though he represents a working class district, and he should be more cognizant of their problems, and it's a lot of his voters that are suffering, to offer a blanket amnesty for all illegals in the United States. It's millions of them.
He's in favor of high taxes, bringing in more immigrants, diluting the white population of the 3rd District.
Pat Buchanan put it better than anyone else. If the Democrats submitted a bill to burn down the Capitol building, the Republicans would offer an alternative amendment to phase it in over 3 years. I'm gonna walk into Dick Gephardt's office or see if I can get some information. I just want to see if they're actually having a debate that maybe I didn't know about. Yeah, 201. In a way, I feel kind of off the hook, though, because being a congressman, it almost feels like I'm going up against a Goliath, where when I was walking up the steps, I'm thinking it shouldn't be that way.
Have you heard of Mr. Dan Byington?
Dan Byington?
Yeah.
Byington? I think he was a fighter pilot during World War II, wasn't he?
See, what do you think of this sign?
He's all right. You gotta get out and get some work in, dude.
Who, Byington?
Byington.
Have you heard of Byington yet?
I heard of Byington a few times. I see you sign up on Chippewa out there.
What do you think of Byington?
He's all right.
It's Byington, Dick Gephardt, and Kathy Enns in the race.
Kathy who? Enns?
Yeah.
Enns, right. You gotta learn how to do this.
Good
you want to get a campaign going? Get out on the corners, do the sign. You see that little beep beep there?
Yeah.
That's what that's about. He came by and read beep beep, he does that. The other Democrats come by, they see it, they beep. Republicans see it, they're quiet, go by.
So I need to get a beep beep on my sign.
You gotta cheat every little way you can, like, for sure. You could.
Look, these people are honking. Now, how do you know if these people are honking at my signs or your signs?
All you want to do is get recognized, don't you?
Well, I think that's what it's about.
You know what they're honking at? They're honking because they had almost a war for a year now.
Yeah.
They had all that shit. They just want to have some fun.
So anyway, man, it was good seeing you again. Hey, thanks, man. I think that guy beeped at me because he was looking right at my sign when he beeped.
Maybe, dude. I don't know.
That gentleman was POW in Germany.
I'm actually running for Congress. My name is Dan Byington.
And on what ticket?
The Libertarian ticket.
Sorry.
What?
Good luck. Libertarian.
So you're going to vote for me for Congress in 3rd District?
Yeah, me and Janet, yeah.
All right, Mike. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to see you. You know, Gephardt's going to beat Enns by 10% or whatever. He was at the opening of the swimming pool. You know, shaking hands, getting photographed. 100 people carefully let in. You know, it's silly. You know. They got this 5-story tall water slide. You know, you can see it from Kansas City. They had to get this swimming pool aquatic center. They had a bond issue and they fell short. So then they passed a tax increase, sales tax increase, and back, at least at the time of the sales tax increase, they knew they were going broke, and they could have scaled back on the swimming pool. But no, you know, government wants to be everything to everybody.
It is 2 days before the election. I never saw Dick Gephardt again. Meanwhile, Dan's only hope is to get more than 0.7% that the last Libertarian candidate got.
I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to go into Gephardt's campaign headquarters here, and I want to just ask volunteers who volunteer for the Democratic Party, why do they volunteer for the Democratic Party? Why are they volunteers? So I'm going to go in here and see what...
Hey, hello. What can we help you with?
Right now I'm standing outside of, I guess it's Richard Gephardt, my congressman, is campaign headquarters. Since I've had such a difficult time finding volunteers for my campaign, I was kind of curious to know, why do people volunteer for a particular campaign, and how come they do, how come they don't, whatever. And that was something we wanted to ask, and nobody wanted to go on camera, and they kind of kicked us out of the office.
Have you heard of Mr. Dan Byington?
Sure. I don't believe in his agenda, and I won't support him.
Dang it! I gotta perfect that a little bit. I hit it too hard, and the staples keep popping out.
My favorite sign up there is Gephardt hasn't done dick for me or the 3rd District, so.
I'll give you 4. I'll give you this many.
That's fine.
But when you approach somebody, if you hand it to them and they read it, they can just read it, and then after they read the information, just take it back. Right. And then you can just do that, and that way you can get more people than just 10. Probably get 100 at the polling booth. That's really the name of the game, man. Just getting your signs out there, getting it where people see your name.
Suppose this is the night before a national election. Suppose you sat in this room and saw and heard this.
I got a list of the St. Louis County, St. Louis City voting polls, and I'm just going to go and put these signs up there.
Where's your campaign manager?
He's in Vegas right now. Joe Grasso.
So there you have it. Joe Grasso is in Vegas. There were no big speeches, no $150,000, no billboards. This sounded very familiar.
Afton Christian Church, 9625 Tesson Ferry Road. This is the Afton Christian Church on Tesson Ferry Road, and I don't see any signs. Sign broke. Go Hillsborough. Phillsboro, that's like a big thing. Burns Mill, that's all off like 55, Barnhart. Yeah, here's another polling place. "2% is good. 5% would be better."
It is early morning of the first Tuesday in November. This is an American city, for this is Election Day.
Oh man, thank God it is Election Day.
Have you heard of Dan Byington?
No, I haven't.
He's on WGNU.
I've heard of the radio station.
Have you heard of Dan Byington?
Yes, I have seen placards along the roadside. But that's about as far as my knowledge of him goes.
I consider myself a libertarian. There's no reason to have a guy in Washington making decisions that I can make and hit a button on my internet and there it is. People would raise their children to believe that they're the government, not the guy you elect, who's going to go up there and he's going to take all the money from the political action committees and vote that way. Who needs that? That's baloney.
I'm just going to do a lot of waving today, I think, and try to pass out flyers. There's Joe Grasso down there. He's
Shit, it's
my campaign manager. We'll walk down that way.
He caught me cross-dressing. I didn't know you were coming today here, Congressman Byington. They forced me into wearing the sandwich board, see? They've got my children kidnapped, see? I voted for you, though. Yeah.
So how come you're supporting Gephardt and Byington at the same time?
Oh, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Okay, maybe my English is wrong.
They gave him a free sandwich to wear that.
Yeah. And there was something going on with, my political hopeful. I'd be out there, and I will be out there today. But I'm helping a neighbor. He had a problem filling this slot.
Have you heard of Mr. Dan Byington?
Is he related to Spring Byington?
No.
The actress? No, I don't know him.
Peace, liberty, and justice.
Yes.
Peace, Third district, I'm actually running against Captain ticket. Yeah.
So you're libertarian. Well, I like it.
It's me. I'm running for Congress. If putting out that one extra sign that will help, I'm gonna do it. I'm a libertarian. I'm financing my own campaign. I just got tired of. Oh, thank you.
Who comes to the bigger parties? You want to go to Gephardt's, Carnahan's, or Clever Castles, or Sam Ross?
I got my own party to go to.
Oh, do you really?
Not quite. It'll be a victory party down at the Creek Lane.
Oh, okay.
That's it. The last flyer. I'm done.
I am today. I am now. I'm 100% libertarian right now.
If I got 1%, that's 0.30% better than the last candidate to run in that district.
Probably not until 9, but maybe.
And I know that probably both of our statewide candidates, myself and Arnold Tremblay, are going to get above the 2%. So we're going to be cool for ballot access.
Great.
We really hope to retain ballot status after this election, and one way to do that is to get 2% in a statewide election.
Have you seen your numbers?
They won't show the third-party candidates. We know that Carnahan and Talent between them right now are getting about 99%. So there's this chance that we could still get the 2%.
I'm kind of wary of the posture that libertarians and the Greens are in, of struggling even for a place on the ballot. How do you feel now that it's almost over? How do you feel about how you did?
I feel really good. We talked about reparations. We talked about so many issues like this genetic modification of food. So I feel really good about everything we've done, and I think no matter what the results are in the polls, we have a victory tonight.
Well, good work, man.
How does this make work for you?
58% for the incumbent Democrat. His challenger, Republican Catherine Enns, is polling in 40% of the vote right now. It looks like 42% reporting in that race.
They're voting for a party. If I was Republican, I would be 46%. Instead, I'm a libertarian. They think I'm a wacko, 1%.
Try to save Social Security, to try to get better jobs and better wages, to try to improve this economy.
Instead of unfair trade laws, and to try to make this country greater and better than it's ever been. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
I think what you've seen in this campaign is the tremendous influence of special interest money. We had campaigns where their candidate was backed up by the pharmaceutical companies, by all kinds of special interests. They in some campaigns were spending $6 million on a House race, and our candidate was hardly able to come up with $2 million. So.
Politics is big business, I mean, one guy in a truck with 60 signs isn't going to accomplish a whole lot.
Okay, so there was no nail-biting finish, holding your breath for your underdog high school team to come from behind to beat the frontrunner. Dan or Mike may not have been the best candidates in the race. But given the obstacles put forth in the electoral system, the two-party organization, the media, special interest, and the amount of money, it is doubtful that the best candidate will ever be found.